Today, let's focus on one of the most critical parts of your radio station's digital presence, your streaming player. Should you embed it, pop it out, keep it persistently playing across your website? Each one of these options has its perks and pitfalls. So let's figure out which streaming player is best for your station website. Hi, it's Jim. Welcome to Better Radio Websites, the podcast that wants to help you get more visitors and the most revenue from your radio station website. And today, we're talking about your stream player, arguably one of the most critical features of your station website. As a matter of fact, some stations out there, the only reason that they have a website is to place their streaming player there. We're not going to get off on that tangent. Don't worry. We're just letting you know that not all streaming players are created equal. There's some different types, like from the simple embedded players, the pop-out windows, and these more advanced persistent players now. They each have their benefits and their drawbacks. All right. So today we're going to go and kind of give you the pros and cons of each one of these and some crucial things to check with your streaming provider before you make decisions on which one of these is best for your station website. All right. So first, let's talk about the embedded players. Now, these have been the most common option across, for many years, ever since we've been streaming, actually. And this is where your streaming provider gives you a little snippet of HTML or JavaScript that embeds a player directly on your page of your website. Let's just go to that page. They hit play. They start listening. It's very, very simple, and it's very, very easy. One of the pros is that it's very, very easy to implement. You basically just copy and paste this code on your page or post or whatever, and then you're good to go. Another pro is that it's hosted by your streaming provider, so you don't have to really do anything. There's no technical maintenance or anything like that. There's no options within this code. You just paste the code, and you're good to go. And usually this includes the now playing information and volume controls. There's nothing really you can mess up. All right. Now, some of the cons of going this route is, if you think about it, playback stops if the listener navigates away from the page that it's embedded on. All right. So now some have gotten around this by embedding their player on a special Listen Live page, and perhaps this page opens up in another tab or opens up in a pop-up or something like that. So you can get around this, all right, if you just have to go with the embedded player type. Some embedded players, they come with banner ads or branding, like Live 365. It has their branding on there. When you normally click on that, it goes to Live 365. So if you don't want these other ads or branding from these your streaming provider, because some of these ads that they have on there, they could conflict with some of your own local advertisers, or it could look cluttered on your website. So that's one thing to kind of keep in mind. With not all of them do that, but some of them do. So that's something that you have to keep in mind and weigh your options. And with these embedded players, the customizations, they are very, very limited. Like I said, it's very, very easy to embed these on your pages, but there's not a lot of options there. You don't really have a whole bunch of, there's just no options there. Now, some providers, they give you an admin, and then you can kind of play around with some of the settings, but they don't really give you a whole lot of customization with this. Now, some streaming providers, they actually require that you use their embedded player due to the ads, or like that. Maybe the ads maybe help pay for the service or something like that. And so in this case, you have to make sure that you're okay with those ads that they're putting there. Now, like I said, some of the streaming providers, they actually require that you use their embedded player. So there's no getting around that whatsoever. So do keep that in mind. And that's one of the questions that you'll want to ask your streaming provider. Is this the only way that I can have my stream played, is to embed this player, and what options are there available to you? All right. Now, the second one is that pop-out player. It's whenever you click on Listen Now, it's going to open up in like maybe a separate window or maybe a smaller window. This is a little bit better than having it embedded onto a single page, because people can still navigate freely around your website and the audio continues to play because it's in that separate window. One of the pros is that it keeps the stream playing as the visitor goes around your website, and that's great. The streaming provider may allow some ad customization and some other integrations like pre-roll ads and even podcast within that pop-out. So the entire pop-out is basically from them. It's a player, their player, but it's not embedded. It's just in a pop-out. And it gives a little bit more freedom for the listener to navigate your website while still listen to your website nonstop, all right? And now some of the cons are that some embedded players do come with those banner ads and maybe some branding from the stream provider. And maybe some of those banner ads don't jive with your local advertisers. So you want to be careful of that. Now, some streaming providers do allow you to put in local ads within their player, and that's great too. All right. So you can probably get around that. And if you don't have any local ads, then that's when their ads kind of kick in just to make sure that it looks like up to date or whatever. Now, some modern browsers can block pop-ups, so you do have to keep this in mind as well. And how does it translate when somebody is listening on a mobile device? All right, is the pop-out full screen, or is it, so you have to judge whether it's on your mobile or your desktop. You have to make sure that the streaming is going to be seamless no matter what the device is that they're listening on. And if it pops out in a mobile device, can you still get back to the website and easily and navigate the website without having to go back? And then can I find the pop-out player on a mobile device without having to close down everything on my phone in order to just make the music stop when I want it to stop? All right. Now, another con to the pop-out is that they're a little bit less elegant than the next thing that we're going to talk about. And the user experience is less elegant than the number 3, the persistent audio player. Now, this is a sticky site-wide player, normally at the top or the bottom of your website, and it continues playing once you hit play as you navigate around the website from page to page, post to post, go into events and contests and everything like that. It's down at the bottom and it stays there. This is kind of similar how Spotify and many podcast platforms handle playback. You have this player down at the very, very bottom of the page, or it could be at the top, or it could be even on one, the right or left side of your page. And so some of the pros of this route is seamless listening. All right. You keep visitors on your site without interrupting the stream. They don't have another pop-up in their face that they have to move out of the way to go back to your homepage or whatever. It opens up opportunities for longer listening sessions and more ad impressions. And it typically integrates the album art, the now playing details, and even podcast episodes. Now, some of the cons of going this route, it can be a little bit more technical if you are putting this on your website yourself, all right? Because it does require integration with whatever website framework you're working with. If you have a website service like Skyrocket Radio here, then you don't have to worry about any of that technical stuff because we take care of all that for you. Some of the other cons of this would be it needs specific stream formats, usually like a direct MP3 stream URL, plus a separate now playing meta. This actually gives you the title, the album artwork, and the artist information. Perhaps you don't have any way to get that from your automation system through to the stream provider, or maybe the stream provider doesn't allow a URL to pass that through to this persistent player. Some streaming providers, they don't allow direct streaming URLs because they require that embedded player. Does your streaming provider allow you to have an MP3 stream and a now playing URL that you can put on one of these persistent players? So that's one of the questions that you will need to ask them. Now, if you're considering a persistent player like our Stream Player Pro, you need to verify with your streaming provider that you can actually get that MP3 URL to the audio and that you have a endpoint URL for the now playing information, the song title, the album artwork, and the artist. Anything that is playing on within your automation system can be passed through to the stream player. All right. So it might be helpful to note that our Stream Player Pro, it's and here it is on our website. It allows for scheduling and rotating pre-roll audio and video accompanied by client banner ads. It's multiple station support. So if you have multiple stations, then they can all be in there as well. The album artwork for everything in your schedule can be passed through to our persistent player. Not just your songs, but your commercials, your promos. Even if you have local artists that you might not even have album artwork for, you can actually schedule this through our system. All right. We have an artist database that you can put anything that appears in your automation system. It can be passed through to our stream player and our mobile apps. But we'll get on all of that at some point. We also give you the option to display the current show versus that now playing information. If you don't have any way to pass that automation system information to your stream provider, some stations don't, and that's okay. But we do give you the ability to show the current show that is scheduled through the website within that stream player as just so it's just not the name of your station and your logo down there. You can actually see some sort of current information that is happening with your radio station. And then we also give you play analytics for each station as well. So you can actually see if you have multiple stations or if you just have one, then you can see how many people are listening throughout the day. So some things to check with your streaming provider. Before deciding on which one of these players that you want to use, ask your streaming provider these key questions. Do you provide a direct MP3 or AAC stream URL that can be embedded in custom players? Like I said, some only offer the iframe or JavaScript embeds tied to their advertising models. And they may say, no, we don't allow that. Live 365 is one of those. And I think you can violate your terms of service if you do the MP3 route. I haven't looked at every word of their terms, so don't quote me on that, but that's just what I've heard from some other stations that say that they could not do that. Ask them if they have a now playing or metadata feed that shows that album artwork, the now playing artist and title, and other things within your automation system they can pass through to the player. Now, this is essential for players that show that current information like song titles and album art and recently played tracks. We actually did a podcast recently about doing the summer challenge of putting cool things within Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You would need that metadata flowing through to the mobile app and again, this stream player in order to show all that other information. Because you can attach any kind of album artwork you want to on at least on our system for anything. So if you have 5 clients in a stop set or whatever, each one of those clients, you put it into the database, attach an image with it, and their logo appears for every time that they come up within your stream. For an upsell price, of course, right? All right. So also ask your streaming provider if there are any restrictions in the service agreement for embedding the stream outside of your provided player. Like I said, if the service is ad supported, they may not prohibit any other player options for like I said, that MP3 stream. So they may not even allow that. And ask them if they charge extra for ad-free streams or the metadata feeds for getting all of this information. More than likely, they will not charge extra for that, but just knowing it up front avoids any surprises later on. Ultimately, the best choice of stream player, it really just depends on your needs and your streaming provider's capabilities and policies. You make sure that your goals align with the website's user experience. All right. So if your audience doesn't really care about having a little pop-up, have a pop-up. Or if you think it would be more aligned with the station's strategy, you want to make more revenue with it, then one of those persistent players may be the best way to go. It's all about listener engagement and maximizing the on-site time that they are listening, because you want people to listen more often, right? A persistent player really is more than likely the way to go, because that was one of the pros, because that actually encourages longer listening times. But if simplicity and minimal setup are your priorities, maybe a pop-out player is fine. Before your next website revamp or streaming contract renewal, list out your must-haves and whether or not continuous playback, customizable ads, or rich now playing features versus what they can deliver for you. Hopefully this information helps you. If it has, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment. Let us know how we're doing. And we so much appreciate that. If we can help you with your radio station website, that's what we're here for. Reach out to us at skyrocketradio.com. Have an awesome week online making your radio station website better. We'll see you next time.
Looking to maximize your radio station's digital presence? Skyrocket Radio delivers custom websites and mobile apps built exclusively for radio stations by radio professionals. Our websites engage listeners and drive revenue, while the integrated apps keep your audience connected wherever they are. It's a complete digital solution designed to boost your station's reach and ad sales. To take your station's online experience to the next level, visit skyrocketradio.com.